It is extremely important to me that the stories we share are authentic and that we strive to tell both perspectives. I've been a local to this remarkable island 3 times and a tourist too many times to count. Our Home Your Holiday celebrates Aruba. There's a reason why Arubans are so patriotic, and there's a reason why visitors keep coming back. Let's dive into the elements that makes Aruba our home and the perfect holiday. Get ready for a great show. There's one interview with 3 compelling topics. Let's welcome CEO of Aruba Conservation Fund, Tyson Lopez, to tackle 3 topics for us today. Aruba Conservation Fund. Topic 2, the simplest things that our tourists can do to minimize their footprint on our nature. Topic 3, Shokos. There is a renewed interest in our national bird due to recent developments. Let's learn more about this species of animals. I'm currently standing near one of our salinas. Hi everyone, I'm Yantulu. Did you know that our salinas are protected on the island, along with certain species of animals, plus lagoons? If I were to tell you the Fundación Parque Nacional Aruba is the one who protects these areas, would you have known that? Or do you think it makes more sense for it to all fall under Aruba Conservation Fund? Parque Nacional Aricoc, also known as Aruba's National Park. It is a beloved place to visit by all locals and tourists. It is a protected area with incredible nature for all of us to explore. The foundation that manages and protects the park recently underwent a transformation of their entire brand. But why? Why go from FPNA, Fundación Parque Nacional Aruba, to ACF, Aruba Conservation Fund? More importantly, why is it so important to do so? It turns out the responsibilities and roles of the former FPNA has grown and expanded.
So to encapsulate the essence of nature itself, we said, okay, we have to change the name because it's conservation then of nature as a whole and not only the protected areas. So that is the main change because it used to be Fundación Parque Nacional Aruba, which is Aruba National Park Foundation, and that name actually has the word parque, so park in it. And that says like, okay, you're managing parks, and that is not the reality. We manage more than just parks.
In order to meet the scope of work they were doing and want to continue doing, it was only natural, no pun intended, to transition to ACF. With this transition, Tyson and his team can look beyond Aruba and see what other parts of the world are doing when it comes to nature conservation.
So we need to be smarter. So there's more responsibilities now compared to the past. Before we only used to manage Parque Nacional Aricoc, but right now the scope of work has broadened so much that we also need to become more professional, more efficient in the way we are doing things. And that is basically also keeping up with what is happening outside of the island, because I've recently been notified that also an island in St. Lucia is doing the same transition as we're doing. So from a park management to a conservation management organization, it's keeping up with what is happening and the reality of the work of conservation.
FPNA had the word park in it, so immediately the thought is, okay, you manage Aricoc Park, when in reality, they manage and protect so much more of Aruba. Take a look at this map outlining the management areas of Aruba Conservation Fund. Everything in color falls under the protection of ACF. In total, the organization manages close to 25%, 1/4 of the entire island's natural terrain, plus 0.2% of the island's territorial waters. If there's one thing the CEO of ACF wants you to know, it is that nature comes first.
What I would want people to understand, we're putting nature first, and then we say, okay, how can we make these areas accessible in the most sustainable way possible? And that is a mind shift basically, because if you say, no, you're doing recreational, and second, you do conservation, you're always creating ways for recreational purposes. So right now with the conservation first mindset framework is, okay, we're going to conserve nature, and okay, how can we make it still accessible for visitors to visit the protected areas in the most sustainable way?
Aruba is a tourist destination, no doubt, so it's really wonderful that the industry is doing so well, especially since so many members of our local community earn an income and a living within this pillar. Now, I'm pleased to report that the Aruba Tourism Authority is aligned with the Aruba Conservation Fund when it comes to informing, messaging, and educating our tourists on how they can make a smaller footprint every time they explore our wonderful island.
Part of the appeal in vacationing in Aruba is to explore the beautiful nature that the island has to offer. This is, of course, welcomed, but there are certain ways to behave in nature for tourists and locals in order to minimize our impact on nature and to leave a smaller footprint. Luckily, ACF, Aruba Conservation Fund, is working closely with ATA, Aruba Tourism Authority, in order to raise awareness with our visitors to be more conscious whenever exploring protected areas within nature. Here are a few very simple tips. Just go slow.
I would say just go slow, because that already has an impact. If you go fast, if you're with your vehicle or not, you might trample or cause some roadkill. Stay on the paths, so whenever you're driving around, stay on the paths, because that can cause vegetation loss, that can create disturbance for habitats.
Another tip, be aware of animals. When it comes to Aruba's precious species of animals, remember to be on the lookout and to act accordingly.
Nature on the island is not static, so it changes with the species. So they have different breeding seasons, they have different migratory patterns. So for example, with turtles, we collaborate, and Tortuga Aruba does an amazing job. We have those seasons also coming into play. So there are moments that you have turtle nesting season, and please be aware that turtles will come on the shore, and stay away when they're laying their eggs, and make sure to contact Tortuga Aruba. But for the other side, for example, at Baby Beach, we have the terns. The terns are migratory birds that comes to the island to breed and lay their eggs. So that's also important, not to run behind and not to chase them, let them be.
It seems like a good rule of thumb is to enjoy the animals from afar. And Tyson also says, at the end of the day, be respectful.
Please be respectful. Just do not touch any wildlife. Even turtle, do not harass them. Do not. So there's also, for example, turtles. Whenever you're swimming with the turtles, try to keep your distance and actually swim not in front of them, so from the side and the back. So that's also, be respectful. Do not catch them, please. Do not try to catch them and grab them.
For our diving friends, don't forget about protecting our coral life.
With corals also, whenever you're snorkeling, diving, do not step on them. I mean, it takes many years for these corals to form. These are the basis of our marine wildlife, for the fishes and so on. So there's many, good practices that we still need to implement for people to be more conscious. So it's not only the visitor, but also the tour operators that are basically eager to work with us also to make sure that they are doing the right thing.
Tyson is the CEO of the Aruba Conservation Fund. He just brought up a really great point. In order to properly get the message across on protecting our natural environment, tourism partners all need to be aligned. It is a team effort.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had already a communication workshop with hotel operators and tour operators. And this is basically to change the narrative on how to communicate. So for example, if you just say visit the dunes, say that it's a protected area while you're visiting the dunes, that already creates a different messaging for when you're going to visit the dunes.
Here are a few final words of advice from Tyson.
And if you just be respectful towards nature, that's very helpful already. Do not feed wild animals, that will change their behavior. So there's a lot of things that can be done, and this is also part of our collaboration with ATA. So ATA would want us to collaborate on how to make the visitors more conscious of their impact and how to behave better.
Shokos, They are Aruba's national bird, and we love this specific type of species. Now, there is renewed interest in shokos due to recent developments. So let's learn from the leader at the helm of the Aruba Conservation Fund to learn more about our shokos.
Recently, the community of Aruba has a renewed interest in these owls. The shoko, Aruba's national bird, is part of the island's identity, of course. I sat down with Tyson Lopez, the CEO of Aruba Conservation Fund, to ask him some questions so we can get to know this important bird better.
So the Aruba burrowing owl, the shoko as we call it here, is actually one of the endemic species we have on the island. So it also serves as an important ecological function. So the burrowing owl eats different insects, and those are part of the, you can say, the pest control within our nature. So they have an important ecological value.
In the shoko world, during mating season, it is the male bird's job to find the perfect spot. Afterwards, they get to work.
Basically, especially when it comes to the breeding season, so they will go and search. So the male will go and search for and create a burrow, and then will lure in the females in order to come, and they will mate and lay their eggs there. So it's a process, and after that they will abandon it. So the burrow, we call about it, we say it's active and inactive. So when it's active, the mating process is happening there, but when it's inactive, probably they left the burrow and went for somewhere else. But it does not say that the burrow is, let's say, left for itself, because they will come eventually back. So it can be like a period of 3 or 4 months that you can see like no activity, and suddenly they're back. It's possible that it will happen.
Shokos are intelligent. The male bird won't just find any place for his female partner to nest. There's a few things they look for in a burrow.
A burrowing owl also is very territorial, so it will always remain in the area. It's not that it will fly from, let's say, West Point all the way to San Nicolas. No, they are staying in their area. And also you have to remember that nature is very smart, and these burrowing owls are also very smart. So they would breed if they know there's food around. They would breed if they know that it's safe to be around. So it's not like it's going to happen automatically. So they do take in consideration everything that's happening in the area.
The shoko is not only a beloved national bird on the island of Aruba, it is also a very important contributing member to the island's nature as well.
The shoko, so the burrowing owl, is a national symbol also. So it's very pride. I think everybody loves this bird. I mean, it's cute also. It's small and furry, so it's very cute. But it's really important. I want to reiterate, for our ecological system also.
Families who live on the island, why should they come either as a first-time visitor or come more often? Why is that important with the impact of nature, of conserving nature and appreciating nature?
Yes. I must say that one story is that, of course, as an Aruban, also as a kid, my mom and my dad used to bring me to the national park a lot back in the days. So that creates the connection also with nature. I mean, you cannot respect nature and not care for nature if you've never been in part of nature. So you have to be able to immerse yourself in nature, to understand it, and to create this appreciation for it. And that is important why I think child and also families need to come and explore, because that is the connection you create and the respect and fall in love with the beauty of nature and how magnificent it works. So that is the reason that I would recommend families to come here, and especially local families, because it's also part of your heritage. This is who we are. This is the natural environment of our island. And yes, for us to conserve this for many, many years, many, many decades, and for many generations ahead.
Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to go to our YouTube channel if you want to access all our content celebrating Aruba at any time and anywhere. The YouTube channel is called Our Home, Your Holiday. We are also on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll see you there. Signing off near one of the protected salinas, I'm Yantulu. We'll see you next time.